Thank you for that warm welcome. Your Eminence, Reverend Clergy, Your Excellencies, to my colleague, the Congresswoman, to the many elected officials who are here from our region and across the nation, and to all of our dignitaries from abroad, my fellow parliamentarians from Greece and Cyprus, welcome to the United States. And let me thank all of those from the Federation of Hellenic Societies who have come together to keep a tradition alive that shows all the best and the brightest of the Greek and Cypriot communities in our country. Congratulations to the Federation. And let me thank my dear friend Philip Christopher for organizing this event, to the Archbishop for his prayers, and all of you for inviting me on the night before the big parade on Fifth Avenue tomorrow. I was proud to be a former Grand Marshal several years ago, and my wife Nadine, who is here with me tonight, and I are always delighted to join the Greek American community both in New Jersey and in New York, and particularly here to celebrate the 201st year of independence. And we really like visiting our Greek friends in Greece and Cyprus. 2 centuries ago, when Americans across the nation read newspaper accounts of Greece's war for independence, they rushed in to help in any way they could. They were inspired by stories of bravery. From the tall mountains of the Mani Peninsula to small islands like Hydra, Greeks from all walks of life fought for freedom against enslavement by the Ottoman Empire. Americans gathered food and clothing, priests made speeches asking for the faithful to contribute funds. Philhellenic communities from Washington to Boston raised cash at charity dances, and this bond of friendship was powerful. A bond that supported Greek victory and helped spread freedom across the country. A bond centered on the democratic principles and aspirations our two nations share. And it is a bond that I am happy to say is as strong today as it was 200 years ago. From Western philosophy to the Olympics, Greece has made incredible contributions to the world, and its influence on the American nation is unmistakable. It was the spark lit by ancient Greek thinkers who philosophized about democracy and the rule of law that inspired America's founding fathers to declare our independence and establish our own republic. Even the architecture of the United States Capitol building is a testament to the foundational role Greece played in the dawn of our democracy. If you walk under that magnificent Capitol dome, you stroll through the halls of Congress, you will see the genius of the Greek-Italian artist Constantino Brumidi. You will feel the reverence for democracy and the gift of freedom. We see this Greek influence in the Hippocratic Oath, where doctors swear by Greek gods to uphold the highest ethics. We see this influence in the Socratic method, where law professors question students to develop their critical thinking. And of course, we see this influence on the foundation of American democracy itself. Ancient Greece's development of the rule of law and ideals of democracy inspired the founding fathers of our nation to establish our government, a system of government that still inspires Americans and people around the world today. The people of Greece fought hard for freedom from the Ottoman Empire. Thousands gave their lives so that they could build a modern republic in their country. Heroes like Phaedos, Kolonitrakis, Ypsilantis earned their place in the annals of the historic struggles for freedom. At the time of the Greek Revolution, Thomas Jefferson was in his 80s. He was one of the most accomplished democratic thinkers in the world. The author of the American Declaration of Independence expressed his solidarity with the Greek people in a letter to Koreos, the great intellectual voice of the Greek Revolution. On the other side of the globe, he wrote a letter to the intellectual leaders saying, "No people sympathize more feelingly than ours with the sufferings of your countrymen. None offer more sincere and ardent prayers to heaven for their success. And Jefferson wasn't alone in his support for the Greek cause. Daniel Webster was a congressman at the time. In 1824, he gave a rousing speech in support of the Greek Revolution. He said, "The struggle of an interesting and gallant people, contending against fearful odds for the common privilege of human nature." And he introduced a resolution to send American envoys to Greece to support its struggles against the Turks. But we didn't need a resolution to inspire Americans to travel to Greece to help fight for victory. Men like Jonathan Peckman Miller, Samuel Gridley Howe, who would later go on to be prominent voices in America's fight to end slavery, joined the Greek cause. Howe set sail for Greece after graduating from Harvard with a medical degree, and for 6 years he served as surgeon and a soldier, fighting alongside the Greek people. Upon his return to the United States, he would travel the country to raise funds, carrying with him Lord Byron's gleaming sword as a talisman to inspire Americans to donate. Other Americans who fought for Greek independence, like George Jarvis and the former slave James Williams, lay buried in Greece. Even today, their headstones can be found at the cemetery near Argos, another testament to the deep ties our nation shares. Greek independence from the Ottoman Empire was a remarkable achievement, a true David versus Goliath story, and I am proud that there were some Americans who were able to play a small role in that history. And yet, even with a strong bond, we should also acknowledge the obstacles and the hardships that many Greeks had to overcome to achieve success in this country. At the dawn of the 20th century, tens of thousands of Greeks fled famine and the violence of the Balkan Wars, and they came to the American shores for a better life. Sadly, many endured bigotry and racism. Greek restaurants faced boycotts from the Ku Klux Klan. Greek workers confronted discrimination, like a Nebraska newspaper ad which read, quote, "Wanted, a first-class shoemaker to do repair work, must be steady and sober, no Greeks need apply." In 1909, a mob in Omaha, Nebraska went on a rampage destroying Greek businesses, beating Greek men and women, and burning down buildings. In 1924, the Immigration Act imposed harsh restrictions on Greek immigrants, allowing only 100 per year to enter the United States. And yet, despite these challenges, Greek Americans didn't give up. They didn't give